Hello, loved ones. I am wondering how the fan is.
Let me turn off the fan. Excuse me.
Hello, loved ones. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to my YouTube channel. Why not Grandma? And for those who are coming in for the first time, my name is Joan. Thank you so much for having made this choice of checking in on Why Not Grandma. So today I want to talk to you about emancipation. Today is Emancipation Day, 1st of August. And it is supposed to be a very big day, right? Because we're supposed to be so grateful that we have been emancipated and all that. But interestingly enough, you find that, well, Jamaicans like to party, like to have dances and so on, and more times than not, that goes right into daylight. So the festivities and stuff would have started last weekend, maybe from Friday night or so. And then tonight, and definitely straight until the 6th of August, or maybe the weekend after that, because the 6th of August, that's Independence Day. So the 1st of August is Emancipation Day, and the 6th is Independence. Now, Jamaicans are wild, really crazy about Independence Day. But there are mixed feelings when it comes on to Emancipation Day, so you don't see that a whole lot of excitement and so on in relation to this particular day. It's more like, looks like, not saying it is, but pretty much looks like a church day. Yeah. So we were Jamaica got the ex-slaves were emancipated in 1834. It was kind of like a joke. Hope I don't offend anyone by saying that. But persons were still working on the plantation, not benefiting of such, just in their mind. They know that they're free. But it was official in 1838. And then at that time, persons kind of had, when I say persons, I'm talking about the ex-slaves. So they kind of felt like it was not so much of a big deal, but it's more like 4 years prior to. So it's like it is still a joke, continuation of. But when you really think of it, can you imagine if even, let's say, the 1834 remained, but even after the 1838 or that same year and the years following, that roads were built, schools were built, and so people were free, and at the same time they were seeing progress. Can you imagine the experience and how they would have felt at that time and how they would have projected themselves, and oh man, emotional, and then healing would have happened faster, I would think quicker, because they're focusing on progress, me being a better person, me doing whatever it is that I can do to help me, and looking around at the country, seeing the country getting to another level, another stage. I wouldn't be in third world all this time, eh? So, but that was not the case. So not sure what exactly they had in mind, because it was like you were freed, but you were not freed. You were freed, but your hands are tied. So the actual chains were removed, but the chains were actually still there because you were not as free even after the 1838 as freedom is really. But in what was it? It was 1865. Who was governor? The governor here. I'm not sure if is it John Eyre? Well, anyway, governor here, and he during his tenure, or maybe the final part of it, there was a riot, and because persons never liked how they were treated, and they didn't like what was happening. People were not comfortable, not getting lands, and they were pretty much hungry for that, and a lot of things. But there was this governor. When he stepped in, he gave them lands, he built bridges, roads. The churches got money so they could build schools. And I think that was the same year we had the constabulary and national works. And development, and people started feeling really good because, hey, come on, things were stepping up, progress came. Everybody wants progress. Everybody wants progress. So progress. Oh, I didn't tell you. So this is I'm burning up. The heat is killing me, but I had to be showing off the Jamaican colors. A friend knitted this for me some years ago. But anyway, yes. So there was a lot going on now, and persons felt better about themselves and their surroundings, the country, and things were definitely looking up. When we talk about emancipation, freedom, but how free are we though? Are we really free? And was that planned? Persons were not like free, because even now you find that when you look at wages, and it makes you wonder, when you look at oppression is still there, when you look at how you're treated in the workplace, there is so much that you wonder. Of course, we are better than a lot of persons. If you look back at this video, Sam Sharp, you'd know that war, like for Jamaicans, when we get fed up with things, we demonstrate and whatever, and then things happen for us. But then it was just burn down some places and do some crazy things and stuff, and what have you, and people just understand that, okay, this is it. over and done, punto final. This is it, no more of this. And then out of that, you know, shortly, not very, very, but that was actually the beginning of getting into the process of being emancipated. Thanks to Sam Sharp and his entourage, you know, made a lot of difference there. But fast forward. Okay, so the governor that we had in 1866 was John. Sir John Peter Grant. Yeah. And it was at that time that we got the constabulary force and public works department. We also got some crops, some new crops like bananas and coconuts. So there's much going on, and we were affected by the World War. That's what, 1914 to 1918. And because many Jamaicans, you know, fought for or joined with the British regiment or signed up to the British regiment. And then by the time we got to World War II, and that's 39, right? 1939 to 45. 1939 to 1945, the Second World War, you find that Jamaicans were now allowed to vote. So the island was now in the hands of Jamaicans because Jamaicans had much talk. The people were able to elect whomever. So that would be saying a lot, you know. I'm not wearing the Jamaican, full Jamaican. So I have to cover it up with this. So the floral aspect of it is not shown because that should be black and gold. It's not even gold. So when you really think about it, it is very important. Oh, and I should tell you why some persons are not so crazy about emancipation. For example, Rastafarians, and there are others who feel the same way. I think if at the time when Jamaica when the slaves were emancipated, if the whole thing was dealt with differently, then just maybe the thought process would have been, different. But for some persons, including Rastafarians, Jamaicans are strangers in a strange land. Like for me, I don't care. For me, it doesn't matter. Understand? But for some persons, this is a serious thing. So many times you hear the song about how can we live? How can we live in a strange land? I think that's a text from the Bible. And then you have where they're singing about captive being so the thought is, the school of thought is, how can you be free in a land that is strange to you, or a land that you are a stranger in? the only way you can be free is when you are back home, back in your country. So that is the thought process. That's a school of thought there. That's a thought process. We can't be free in a strange land. So Rastafarians, especially, and yeah, many others are always looking back for ways, to go back to Africa. And it shouldn't be a state where they have to pay to go there or get a visa to go there because they did not choose to be here. So the same way they came is the same way they should be returned. Interesting. But in Jamaica, we have like a day like today. It's the opportunity where we have agricultural shows. And here people get a chance to show off their goodies. So for those persons who have livestock that are huge, livestock that are strong, those are brought and they actually compete. They actually get medals for who has the largest or the heaviest or the strongest, whatever it is. And for plants, and you can see it still goes back to this, the fact that we're having this agricultural shows. It tells again that this is all tied up with the labor force, from the agricultural aspect of things. You can see that because back then in 1834 it was all about the workforce, and we talk about the labor force, and that labor force had to do with land, farming. 38, same thing. Emancipation, we're showing off our crops and our livestock. What is that saying? See? It's interesting what is passed down to us. Yes, it is interesting. But if you stop long enough and think about these things, you'll be like, oh, it's coming from, oh, that, yes, you can see the trend. So of course we'll have dances, parties and all that excitement and so on. But emancipation is pretty much about that. We have what is called Dembe. Today, I've never been there, but as a little girl, maybe 4 or 5 years old, I've always heard the older siblings, like they got a chance to go with my father and so on. And it's like, oh, one day I'm going to get that opportunity. But as you grow older and then things change and it goes back again to your mindset. As Jamaicans, we have come a long way. And, I implore you to, as Bob Marley says, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, because none but ourselves can free our minds. None. So it's left up to us. All right? Let us appreciate the fact that freedom came. In retrospect, it might not be as how we would have wanted it, as how we would have liked it, but it came. And here we are. We have achieved much. We have come a long way. And for that, we are most grateful, and we give God the praises, and we thank Him. All right? So, I hope you enjoyed this discussion. Tell me how you feel about it. And tell me how you feel about this whole emancipation aspect of things and the fact that it never came with progress for us to have gotten to heights in a short period of time, in a much shorter period of time, you know. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And I tell you, I will continue as much as is possible to share with you contents of value. Okay? All right. Sometimes, when I'm supposed to be coming on a Monday, I might be at work. The days are so hot that by the time you get home and all of that, by the time I get home, I'm so exhausted. But I will try my best to ensure that you get this, even though the algorithm is confused with me, that is fine, because I'm just having fun, really. But just to ensure that you get at least 3 videos for the week, right? I try my best to work on that. Take care of yourselves. Be extremely good. All right? And thank you again for sharing cyberspace with me. And this is Grandma saying, please, I am out of